This is the Real Estate Investing Abundance Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Allen. I know you're excited to get into today's show, but I have a very exciting announcement to share with you before moving to the show. We've just launched a complimentary and comprehensive webinar that, among other things, shows you how to legally use passive real estate investing to reduce your taxes, recession-proof your nest egg, and take the sting out of inflation. If you are curious to learn more, go to stevetucker.com/webinar. It is complimentary and only takes a couple of minutes of your time. Once again, that is stevetucker.com/webinar. I'll see you in the webinar. Enjoy today's show. Hello, enlightened investors. Welcome back to Real Estate Investing Abundance. I'm your host, Dr. Allen Lomax, and delighted once again to be with you today. And we're going to take a look at what a former hospital CEO takes as an executive, how he takes an executive approach to the easiest niche in real estate investing. Mason McDonald is a former hospital CEO who is turned full-time land flipper. He utilizes an executive level approach to grow and scale his business and to help others do the same. So Mason, take us into the show and share a memorable experience that helped you to be who you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dr. Allen, for having me. I think, to dive right into real estate and, one of the most memorable experiences that helped shape me was my first real estate deal. It was 2021. I had just learned about flipping land. I was the CEO of a behavioral health hospital here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And, I purchased my first piece of land for $40,000. It was 7.5 acres. And I turned around and I sold it for $185,000 and I quit my job. Kind of why I bring up that experience is what I've learned in the business of, whether it's operating a hospital or investing in real estate is sometimes there's less complexity tackling the larger deals out there. So, if you can simplify your approach and execute at a high level, and utilize effective systems that other people have proven to be successful, you can make a lot of money in very easy ways. And I think that's kind of been my approach to this business in general and helped shape me, where if I can do something in the easiest way possible, I'll be able to execute at a higher level and make more money.
Makes total and complete sense. Well, Mason, what took you into real estate and how did you actually find the avenue of land flipping?
Yeah, I'd always been interested in real estate. I grew up divorced parents where my dad owned a commercial real estate investment company. So I kind of always was exposed to it as a young kid, 4 years old in the car going with him to pick up rent checks and understood how easy that was. And my mom and stepdad who mostly raised me, it was always the path of education. Get more degrees. The more degrees, the better. Go work for a stable company, work for them till you're 65 and then retire out of your 401k. And I could not stand the thought of doing that. Always been educating myself about real estate. Finally made it, to the top in my career and was ready to invest. Listened to all the podcasts, read all the books, wanted to invest in commercial real estate. Had saved up a little bit of money, and I was meeting with a now friend and mentor of mine that I was going to invest with him on a townhome development. And then he told me that he flips land. I learned how much he was doing. So I, paid the money to get the education within the business and just jumped right in, copy and pasted exactly what he was doing. I've iterated it since then, but just copied the formula and it was too easy. Land is a super attractive niche within real estate just because there's a low barrier to entry from a capital perspective. You can get in as low as, free. There's people that will give you land to multi-million-dollar projects and, that was really appealing to me. Also, the lack of competition within the land investing space.
Well, this was in 2021, and you said the lack of competition. This is 2023. There's been more information on land flipping. Do you find it to be more competitive today than it was in 2021?
I don't think so. I got started, November of 2021, leading right into 2022. So still new to it. But the way I look at anything is, from an education perspective or from a business perspective, there's about 20% of the people doing 80% of the deals. So all I have to do is, it's like the analogy of running away from the bear. You just got to be a little faster than the person at the back of the line. And that's kind of my approach is I see what other people are doing and I just try to do it a little bit better than them and focus on my lead measures, which is marketing to sellers in order to close deals. And I typically tackle much larger deals than what a lot of people in the land investing space do. A lot of the people out there talk about, buying lands, for a few hundred or a few thousand and selling it for in the mid-teens and go for volume. I go for much larger deals, typically six-figure profit spreads with the other ones mixed in. So I'm targeting kind of a niche within land investing that not a lot of other people are doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you talk about, you just mentioned as you were going into the program here that you find the easiest way to do things. So how have you simplified this process of land flipping? What are some of the techniques? What are some of the tools that you have discovered and that you've implemented to your benefit?
Absolutely. I have a very simple process. So my marketing tactic is direct mail, which is very similar to what a lot of people do. I don't do blind offers, which I think is more typical. I send neutral letters. I send postcards that say, I want to buy your land for cash, or are you tired of paying property taxes on your unused vacant land? So I pull lists from PropStream. It's just a data aggregation website. You have all the different asset classes within real estate there. I target people typically that live out of county or out of state that have owned their property for a minimum of 10 years. I then direct mail all asset class or all land use types. I do commercial, industrial, residential, recreational, agricultural, all of it. So I cast a wide net. I have a full-time acquisition manager who is salary plus commission. So he's able to field all the calls that come in. And I use Pebble is the CRM or customer relationship management tool. I'm able to send all my mail from there, manage my phones from there, track my deals through my deal flow through there. And my job now that I have a full-time employee is checking boxes and making sure that deals are approved and, allocating the funds or raising the funds necessary to complete the deals. And then I hand them off to realtors to sell it. And that right there is the, 45-second version of my entire business. It works. It's effective. I'm able to spend minimal time on it. Majority of my job is either approving deals or sending out the marketing campaigns. And, I target areas where there's net in migration of, looking at hot markets in Colorado and Arizona and looking at recent sale data and making sure that I'm investing or purchasing land in places where it's proven that land is selling. And then I just, I do my math and make sure that my ROI is appropriate based on either, financing terms that I've got, from lenders in my business or, that I'm paying all the bills. And that's it. It's just math.
Well, Mason, what advice do you have for someone who is interested in real estate investing? Would you have them look at other options, or would you say, forget all the other options and go into land flipping?
I'm obviously attracted to land flipping. It's not the only thing that I do within real estate. I take my profits from land and put it into commercial real estate so far as my other asset class, once again, because it's larger and more simple. I think the best piece of advice I can do or I can offer is just pick something and get started. There's so many opportunities, whether it's single family, multifamily, commercial. Land is great because it's easy, it's quick. You've got either money, time, or deals. And, if you can add value within either a current investor space or create value to future investors by providing money, time, or deals, you can go forward with it. I like land flipping because of the minimal competition. I think, beyond the small guys like myself and other people that, I've listened to some of the shows where other great land investors are on here. There's not really anyone doing it at the institutional level. And that's primarily due to the lack of institutional financing that's available for this typical product where, banks aren't going to typically lend to a land flipper. The hard money companies that are in houses aren't going to typically lend to a land flipper. The hard money companies that are in land, they charge relatively outrageous fees, typically 20 points plus 30% of the profit or more. But there's a lot of people out there that have 100K sitting in a, high yield savings account where they'd be happy to put 50 grand into a land deal and make 20 grand on a profit split. So, I advocate for land. I help people, learn how to do it, which is basically giving them all the secrets and all the processes, policies, and procedures of my business and all the exact systems, the same stuff that I talk about and walk them through it. So land for me is the way to go. But you need passive income as well, which land can provide that, just from you have the ability to, sell land on terms and owner finance deals and stuff as well.
Enlightened investors, if you haven't done so already, be sure and click that like button and also click that share so others can take advantage of the content. And finally, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one of our upcoming episodes. Well, speaking of the fact that you do mentor and you help individuals, tell us how it is that we can get in touch with you, take advantage of that, and tell us a little bit about your mentoring program.
Yeah, I just got started doing it not too long ago. I do coaching on a one-on-one basis where I walk individuals that have already had success in their career through my entire business and hold their hand through their first deal. So, one of my students was texting me yesterday. He just got his first deal under contract. He just got started about 3 weeks ago. Purchase price $31,000. Sale price is going to be $90,000. And so it's fun seeing him hit his annual goals on his first deal. You can get after me on LinkedIn. I'm not I don't get too involved in social media, but LinkedIn or Facebook. And then I have a website, coachingwithmason.com, where we would interview you, make sure you're a good fit. Because just like that 80-20 principle, I'm working on building a community of like-minded land investors that are interested in, taking down real deals. I'm not going to coach you or teach you how to do the business if you don't have the capabilities of doing it. I'm not looking to make money in coaching. It's about creating a community and helping people grow and achieve their own financial freedom, whatever that definition is. And I have fun doing it. I'm used to having 20 plus direct reports and several hundred employees, and now I have one employee. And so I miss coaching and mentoring. That was a big part of my business, or big part of my role as a leader in healthcare.
Very interesting, Mason. A lot of great things going on in your life, and you've had some phenomenal success. Tell us about one of your major setbacks in life. It may be within real estate or maybe just in other aspects of your life. But tell us about that, and how'd you come through that, and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, I think, knock on wood, I haven't really had any setbacks in real estate quite yet. I almost lost money on one deal, but I ended up making $141. But I think in general, it's very easy to get caught up in the rat race and whatever society's definition of success is, where, I had a lot of success in my career. I moved up very rapidly to become the CEO of a hospital at 26, got the job offer when I was 25 years old. And to most people on the outside looking in, they see that as, you've made it, dude. You're at the top. But what they don't see, they see the 26-year-old that's in a suit and tie and coming into work early every day and leaving late every day, but they don't see my blood pressure being hypertensive stage 2 despite working out every day. They don't see not getting to spend enough time with my wife and my dogs. They don't see the ins and outs of the responsibilities and recognizing that a title or status or money don't mean anything whenever you don't have freedom and you don't have your health. So I think that it's so easy to allow yourself to fall into a trap. And I will not preach self-certainty. I don't think my path in real estate or my career or anything is the right way to do anything. Everyone has their, own set of, biological, psychological, and sociological predeterminants that affect them and what their capacity and capability of us, is within the world. But it's not worth your life. That job was killing me, and it was not worth it despite the status and the title and everything. And I think, going out and doing this, I couldn't do it without my wife, who, worked full time and works full time to pay the bills while we could focus, all the money within the business on recycling it. And I just eternally grateful for her, and allowing me to go out and do it, because I think from a risk perspective, a lot of people will look at me and say, that's an extraordinarily risky thing to do. You were, on the path to becoming, senior VP of a Fortune 200 company, and you left it to go into, this weird niche where I'm a pawn shop for land. I buy land for cheap and I sell it for more. That's it. And people view that as highly risky. And, I counter that with the greatest risk to me in doing this and jumping into this entrepreneurial world and being a business owner is I fail and I have to go get a job just like 95% of the rest of the population.
Well, it's kind of interesting to me that at such a young age, you were able to figure that out, to realize that even though you had climbed the ladder rapidly and fast, and you had prestige and you had security. Well, a lot of people think you have security, but it's very easy to lose a W-2 job. It's not as secure as what most people think. But anyway, you figured that out, that it was all of the prestige, the benefits, and so on and so forth were just simply not worth it to you. Where did that insight come from?
I view it relatively simply. There's capital owners and there's workers, and you're one or the other in America for the most part. And I did not enjoy being a worker, where you think that as the CEO of a hospital, you're going to have theoretically unlimited decision-making authority, and you don't. If you're working for a hospital management company, which I was, you have all the layers, and you look back and it's, I had to seek 17 signatures to get a new refrigerator for our kitchen. It's typical of that. So, I think recognizing that you either have the ability to be in control of your life or not be in control of your life, and recognizing that everything in life for the most part is a choice. I'm not, my background's neuroscience, and I study and read neuroscience still religiously. And, I'm not discounting the biological predeterminants of the way we behave and social determinants of health and everything like that. But, if you can escape the community that you're in that might be bringing you down, or the people around you, or, get on the appropriate medication or whatever it is to, help you biologically, everything beyond that's a choice. You're choosing to be in the job that you're in, you're choosing to be in the relationships that you're in. And as soon as you recognize that, I think it kind of unlocks this next level of seeking out truth, and seeking out what the meaning of life is, or seeking out how you feel you deserve to live the life that you would like to live.
Yeah, certainly those biological determinants are there, but I think, I don't know, I was reading not too long ago, I think that they considered that biology is probably no more than about 50% of just about any equation. So there is your own determination, your own grit, and also the social environments in which you find yourself. And there is that aspect of, someone was saying, and I think it's really true, that we are really a composite of the 6 people that we most closely associate with. And I think that no matter what our biological predeterminants are, I think that who we're associating with is of paramount importance there. Well, Mason, you shared with us one of the difficult aspects of your life and the decisions you had to make to get out of the CEO position that looked good, but that was killing you. Share with us one of your most successful endeavors in particularly land flipping, and just kind of take us through the elements of that transaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to duplicate the story, but I think it's that first deal for me that was, the most successful, not necessarily from a net profit perspective, although the net profit was great, but from just a mindset shift perspective. So I think being able to see it and get hands-on and understand that all you have to do is buy something for cheap and sell it for more, it allows the business to grow. And I think, to kind of further compound, or expand on that is, I did that first deal And then as I left my job, my last day was in January of 2022. I didn't get another deal for several months. And I think, you can blame it on whatever, but I recognized it was, I wasn't sticking to what I said I was doing. I was attempting all these different and creative marketing strategies. I was so excited to be outside of the box that I had been trapped in for so long. And I had no red tape. It was just, it was blue skies and blue ocean. And I started doing all these funky, weird marketing techniques and none of it was working. And then I started sending direct mail again. And within another 2 weeks, I had 5 more deals that made me, they're still paying me. 3 of them are on land notes, but made me another, over the lifetime of the loans plus the sale, another 150 grand or something like that. So I think recognizing that simplicity is the answer of stick to what works and then iterate from there just feels good and feels like a win of recognizing, hey, I just need to send a little bit of mail and I can make some more money. So,
well, what were some of you had veered away from the blueprint, essentially. What were some of the things that you were attempting to do outside of that blueprint?
Yeah, I think the way I look at business is a little bit different than a lot of the people that are going through those types of programs in the solo entrepreneur role, where I look to delegate or abdicate responsibilities that I dislike. While I'm very driven and very hardworking, I think at my core, I'm a lazy person. And so I think, I've got a full-time acquisition manager that I pay salary plus commission, that their salary plus commission could far exceed what most people would ever pay anyone. So I believe in paying people high and much higher than maybe is typical or you should. It buys loyalty and it also makes them work harder typically. And then I have, abdicated certain responsibilities within the business to, I have a team that does my due diligence reports on land. I've got different software and tools where I've got more operating expense than people typically do because I'm a systems guy. For anyone in the healthcare or the manufacturing world, I've got my black belt in Lean Six Sigma, so I'm obsessed with process improvement and utilizing the most efficient and effective systems, tools, and processes to eliminate waste and reduce variation. And that's what I attempt to do in the business. And people are messy. And so if you can have a system that replaces people, rather than looking at the cheapest way to do things, looking at the most effective way to do things, and then build that into the operating expense of your business. So the main answer to your question is I use more tools and systems, I think, than most people that follow a certain blueprint. And then I have more people involved in the business and I don't have a problem paying them. I'm not looking to, make as much money as possible. I'm on the Real Estate Investing Abundance podcast, where if you pay it forward and you treat your people right and you treat the people in your community right, it comes back around. And, that's never the intention to, cash in on the karma that you're receiving by treating people right. But it makes life so much more enjoyable. We're on this planet for a very short period of time, and the more people you can help and teach how to do things, either in a better, more efficient, more effective way, I think the happier we are. You mentioned you're kind of a byproduct of the 6 people you're hanging around the most. I fully believe that. And, I think getting to be around a group of people that you're able to elevate and that elevate you, absolutely crucial.
Well, in closing, Mason, what is your one word of advice for a person who wants to get started in land flipping but has never done it before?
I don't gatekeep. I said it in the podcast of what my business is. I look at markets. I pull data from PropStream. I use Pebble as a CRM, and then I do coaching. So, there's plenty of coaching options out there. If you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to, if it makes sense for both of us, take you on as a one-on-one coach. Coachingwithmason.com, pretty easy to remember, but it's just get started. You can do anything that you want to get started in whatever capacity that makes sense. People door knock in, for wholesaling homes. Go drive through a neighborhood and see what lots are vacant. If that land has been vacant for a long time, figure out who owns it, give them a call, send them a letter in the mail, handwrite a letter. You can get started as cheap or as expensive as you want. And it's surprising. If you get a deal and you can't fund it, reach out to me and I can help. I can help there. It's just get started, pick a strategy, stick with it. And the systems are out there.
Well, Mason, it has just been a delight having you today. Enjoyable conversation and very enlightening. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Dr. Allen.
Enlightened investors, wait, don't go just yet. I just want to remind you about our recently launched webinar that you will not want to miss. If you're at all curious and would like to learn more about how real estate investing can diversify your investment portfolio, alleviate the anxiety associated with Wall Street swings, leverage your 401ks and IRAs to substantially increase the return on your investment, and do all of this with turnkey, hands-off passive real estate investments, then you'll want to immediately go to stevetalker.com/webinar. In the webinar, we'll also address the common dubious investment schemes that you want to avoid. To access the webinar, go to stevetalker.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you in the webinar.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Estate Investing Abundance, brought to you by Steve Talker Capital, a company working for passionate professionals like you to develop financial independence built on solid, passive real estate investments. As part of our efforts to make the world a better place, Steve Talker Capital contributes to activities and organizations committed to better understand the equine. These endeavors attempt to enhance the human treatment of horses worldwide. Steve Talker Capital, working for a world where all creatures, great and small, flourish abundantly. For resources to develop your financial independence, connect with us at stevetalker.com.